future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Today, everyone is a product and everyone needs marketing to succeed. So let's talk about it right now on Marketing Unfiltered with award-winning creative expert Wendi Cooper and her co-host John Hamilton.
Oh, that's new, Tony.
It's new.
I love it. Thank you.
Just for you,
Thank
Wendi.
you. Yeah, so John Hamilton is my co-host. But
Where's Wendi? Or where's John?
So I said, Tony, you have to ask where John is.
And I messed it up.
So John is here every other Tuesday night because now we do have a sponsor, Direct Avenue, and we'll be talking about them a little bit later. But thanks to Direct Avenue, we are back to being every Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
Yay!
And we're happy because now we're really part of the triple threat frickin' Tuesday. So it's actually quadruple threat because the sports guys are pretty awesome over there
they're
too,
awesome
huh?
guys. We love them.
Yeah.
And they're tall drink of
They're
water.
so cute. They're all so cute. Tony, how are you?
I'm great. It's Tuesday, the last Tuesday of January.
Really? I wouldn't have ever thought about that.
February's next. I can't believe this whole month flew by.
You know who we have next week?
Who?
Breon Davis he is in the Oscar-nominated Columbia, I think it's a Columbia movie, Embrace of the Serpent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's here next week.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And he is cute, and he is on your side of the street, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, so tonight we have an awesome guest, and we've been laughing and having fun in the green room, which isn't really green. People.
No, it's not.
It's not green.
Okay. That was a joke, actually, when I did that.
And you know what? I said I'm going to pull it up on my phone, your intro, your bio off of your website. Hey, Tony, can you go to our guest website by the same name as
Already
our
there.
guest? Okay, so you see that page? Do me a favor. In your best voice, will you introduce my guest for me tonight?
Oh, my God. Don't put me on the spot like that.
Read that. Reno,
how do you
it's
say
Rolle.
Rolle. Reno Richard Rolle is a 2014 Ernst and Young entrepreneur.
No, seriously, read it.
Okay. Ernst and Young Entrepreneur of the Year nominee and chairman, co-founder of Boku International.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's a long bio. Do you want me to
just
read
keep
the whole
going.
thing?
Just the first paragraph.
Previously CEO of Shop America USA, Reno co-created the book and marketing campaign for natural cures. And I'm curious to find out about that.
Okay.
They don't want you to know what they don't want you to know about. This book,
and he's
held
not in
the
jail.
Number one spot on the New York Times bestseller list for several weeks from 2005 to 2006, and has sold, oh my God, an estimated 10 million plus copies worldwide. The success of this book helped propel.
And he didn't get a dime. No.
Didn't get a dime?
No.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm going to ask him. But anyway, Reno.
Yes, dear.
Welcome to the show.
Great
I'm going to give you
here.
the same one. Yay! I'm going to fix your camera.
What a welcome.
Yeah, sorry. We are known for screwing up our intros, so that's what we're known for. So you just have to live through it.
It sounded perfect.
Get over it.
It was perfect.
I don't really like things to be too overly produced. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, Tony. I am looking at Reno on the monitor.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at Reno. His camera needs to brighten up a little bit. It is too dark.
Okay, I'm going to stick my hand right here. Mm-hmm. And?
I'm just being a little bit of a stickler, Reno,
Look at
because
Too much?
Too much.
All right.
I'm a producer, and nothing drives me more crazy
There.
than
And more equal?
that's better.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's better. Okay. Reno, how are you? And thank you for coming down from Ojai.
I am
my
so
gosh,
great,
oh my.
and it's really nice to be here. Thank
Yeah?
you. Yeah,
You look
it's
awesome.
fantastic. Well,
you know.
thank you.
Those headphones really complement your
really?
hairstyle.
You know, I noticed them when I came in. I thought, they're mine. These are perfect.
Do you see how they go flat like this?
Yeah, it's nice, right?
When I first came to this studio, I couldn't figure out what was different or odd from where I used to be. right? And it's because, Tony, you have these headphones where I used to be. They were round like that, and they didn't go flat like this. You see that?
Flat tops.
They go like that. Yeah, they're kind of interesting.
But they sound great.
Yeah, I've taken at home. Sometimes I like to do scratch VOs for shows, right? So I bought a really awesome mic, and I just plug it into my laptop to do the scratch.
Sure.
And I love listening to myself.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I bet you feel the same
No,
way.
I'm digging it. I'm like, yeah, hey, I get in close like this. Hey, it's so good to be here.
Yeah, you just put on your radio voice. So, what's going on? What are you doing?
Oh gosh, we're sharing superfoods. I should say first and foremost. Our company Boku International is just exploding, and we're so grateful and so honored to be feeding people, tens of thousands of people in 65 countries.
I know.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I know. Tell me a little bit about tell us about that, because it's something you started 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, hard to imagine. We're in our 8th year now. Our history goes back to 1995 when my son was just 5 years old and was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. So we were called into the school to meet with the principal, and the school had a doctor that wanted to prescribe drugs for our son. And, of course, we resisted that. And my wife, very wisely, Lynn, decided to consult a naturopath, medical doctor. And he recommended superfoods. He said, you should consider nutrition as a possible solution to your problem. We thought, well, we're pretty healthy, and we had never heard of superfoods.
Right.
So we found some superfoods, and we began sharing them with our son. And honestly, the change was borderline, miraculous.
Yeah.
And so that really ignited a passion in us. And we began to research and explore superfoods from all over the world. And, fast forward to Tony just read the bio about the Natural Cures book. On the success of that book, I was surrounded by incredible health experts, nutritionists, formulators, herbalists. And my wife and I decided, now's the time. The book was successful. I did make some money.
Oh, sorry. That was a joke.
No. I didn't make what I should have.
Yeah.
But the truth is,
No doubt.
we right. Well, the players. So, no, we did pretty well. And we thought now's the time to pursue our dream, which was to create the world's greatest superfood. We wanted to share with other people the experience that we had. Really discovering these incredible natural secrets.
And it was really a journey, though. I mean, launching a product is one thing. Launching a line is another thing, right? And then building that brand and watching it take off. But there's so many things that can happen or can not happen, But you've been really successful, because I remember when I first met you, it had to have been 2006 or 7 maybe, 2007.
Actually, we met before that. We met back when I was at Studio Store Direct at, and I was at National Lampoon, actually.
That's when I'm talking about. Wasn't that 2007?
2003. Wendi, time flies. It's been a while. Yeah. I remember the picture of you, Rick Feinberg, and I. It's on the internet now, and that had to be 2003. It's been a while, but yeah, we launched Boku in 2007.
Reno, there's a picture of me, you, and Rick Feinberg.
Yeah, he was one of my partners in Studio Store Direct. It was, yep. I'll never forget that beautiful face.
In 2003? That's when I was really freaking hot. 2000, 2002, 2001, 2003. I was on HSN. I was doing a lot of stuff, and that was my best years.
Yeah, well, you're still hot.
Well, that's when I was really hot. I'm not. I'm old now. But thank you. We're not going to go there again. But I thought the first time I met you was right after when I was coming off of my cancer.
No.
And that would have been.
It was before then.
That would have been 2007.
Yeah. No, it was before then. A little before then. Yep.
I had long hair.
You had. I'd have to check the picture. I've seen you a few different ways. Very short hair. I've seen you with long hair.
Yeah.
I've seen you in
that just puzzles me. That's interesting. Because I remember thinking to myself, I finally met that famous Reno Rolle.
Oh, my gosh. Infamous,
I swear.
maybe.
I swear.
Oh,
I swear.
that's
Everybody
crazy.
said, you don't know Reno? You don't know Reno? You don't know Reno? It's like, no, I do not know Reno. I don't know him. And then when I finally did meet you, it was like, I know Reno.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's true, though.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, we sort of toyed around in the same industry for a while.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. So where's that now with you? Are you not? You're not. I mean, for me, I feel. We're talking about direct response You know, so Reno, let's talk about toying around. Let's wheel around a little bit.
Oh my God.
We're gonna play for everybody. So here's a good reason, Tony. I thought of this today. It's like anytime we cut to a video, here is a really good reason why everybody needs to know that you will, if you're listening to this and not watching the show, you can go to the YouTube channel and see it. You know, because I will post it, provided the lighting is good tonight. I don't post my show when my lighting's bad. No, I won't post the show if I look bad. I won't. I'll do iTunes because then it's just an audio feed and you don't have to look at me. Right? I know. I got it all figured out.
Beautiful, regardless
well, sometimes
of the
lighting
light.
isn't.
Oh, come on. You're hard on
so
yourself.
Good. Wow. Anyway, all right. So let's play. Let's do Wheel with Handles. It is a hilarious commercial. All right, here we go. Starring Reno Rolle.
Introducing America's no-nonsense fitness expert, Johnny Workout.
Hi, I'm Johnny Workout with a no-nonsense offer that's going to blow you away. This amazing product will give you the rock-hard abs you always wanted in just 5 minutes a day, guaranteed, no bull. You've seen the other stuff out there. I hope to God you didn't buy it. Torso Champ, Ab Zapper, Ab Rollé, Aborigine, I don't know. How about Absolutely Not? You know what this one's called? It's called a wheel. A wheel with handles, that's what it's called. You know how much it costs? $10. Not this 99, that 99, $10. These jokers are trying to reinvent the wheel. You know why? Because it works, that's why. The wheel targets all the abdominal muscles with a simple yet effective movement that'll tone you up in places you didn't know you had. Simply roll your way to a great midsection and get a full upper body workout too. In just 5 minutes a day, guaranteed. You want versatility? The wheel's adjustable too. Beginner, you don't go down so far. Intermediate, you go a little further. Advanced, let's face it, you don't need it. This one rolls under your bed too and fits in your suitcase. Big stinking deal. Why pay $100 or more for this stuff that'll just hog up space in your house and end up in a stinking garage sale somewhere? Get the results you deserve without being taken to the cleaners, guaranteed. Call a number on your screen right now and order the wheel with handles. $10, no bull. Now you might think I'm kidding, but this is no joke. Get your credit card and call the number on your screen. You'll get the wheel in your house in no time, and off you go. And if you call right now, guess what we're gonna throw in? Nothing! You call now, you get the wheel. That's what? The wheel with handles.
Oh my God! You know what? I think it could even be funnier for us because it's so ridiculous and so well written and so well performed. Reno, that's just hysterical.
You can, I'm sure, imagine the fun we had, Sully and I, making that spot. It was really a blast.
So what drove you to make that spot? Because I remember when Sully showed it to me, and it was so, and he actually showed it to our entire industry because it was at like an event dinner, right? And,
you know what happened? Lynn brought one home, and she picked it up at like Costco or Sam's Club or something, and she brings home this wheel with handles, and I'm like, hey, I remember these. Like Jack LaLanne worked out with these things. So I start messing around with it on the floor. I'm like, wow, this thing really works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Lynn, what'd you pay for this? She's like, $10. I'm like, what? And I'm thinking all these commercials on television for these ab zappers and ab rollers and ab this and that. And I'm like, I can't believe it. $10 freaking dollars. And this thing really works.
Yeah.
So I start having fun with it. And I start ripping these lines out. And Lynn is hysterical. Lynn's my wife. She's cracking up. I'm like, oh my God, this really is funny, right? So I pulled off basically the spot right there in front of her, just goofing. And so I thought, you know, I wonder. Of course, I was way ahead of my time. I'm thinking,
of course you were. Yeah.
I wonder if this would really work. I wonder if the consumer's ready for someone to deliver a no bullshit pitch on a product that really works. It doesn't have to be $29.99, $39. It doesn't have to have all this magic, and it's just a wheel with handles.
Did you actually air that?
Honest to God, we did.
You did?
So what happened was, I called Sully. You know, Anthony and I, we were friends forever.
Anthony Sullivan.
Anthony Sullivan. So I call him up. And I go, dude, you got to hear this. I have this, it's funny as hell. It's just, I told him the story. Lynn brought this thing home. I go, but listen to this script real quick. And I had written like a 60-second script. And I start reading it to him, and he's roaring, literally roaring. He pulled over on the side of the road. He was driving, and he pulled over, and he's in hysterics. You could just tell. And he comes back to me on the phone, and he says, we're going to shoot this. We have to shoot this. I said, you're kidding. He goes, no, we've got to shoot this. I want to shoot this spot. So I started thinking, wow, maybe there really is something here. So we went about trying to cast it. At the time, I was.
So now, can I tell people, just so anybody listening, just so you know, we're talking about Anthony Sullivan, and you probably see him all of the time in the OxyClean commercials. Hello, Anthony Sullivan here for OxyClean. Okay, so Billy Mays, Anthony Sullivan, all of these people are like our buddies.
Yeah,
okay.
And he's an icon now,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we've been dear friends
Yeah.
forever. And so, you know, I started casting because at the time I was making comedy movies with National Lampoon, and I thought, well, this will be a cool spoof. You know, this was before YouTube really and any of this stuff.
Right.
And so I thought, we'll make a spoof, and it'll be kind of funny, and you know, who knows? So I'm looking. I actually started casting. I had people come in and read, and I just couldn't. No one had the kind of energy the way I imagined the role would be for Johnny Workout.
Yeah.
So finally, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. And that's what Sully said. He goes, Reno, you just do it. Come down here to Tampa. I've got the setup. We'll shoot the spot. So we shot the spot. And, you know, when we were through, I'm watching the thing, and Anthony's watching. And I'm like, man, you know, I wonder if this thing could work. You know, I just wonder if people would call. So I shared it. At the time, I was working with Leon Dryman at Salton. He's the guy behind the George Foreman Grill. And I had licensed my spin fryer to Leon. So we had a bit of a relationship. I sent him the
Your spin fryer. Where did you get that
my
spin fryer?
The spin fryer was a dream, an invention. I actually won the R&D 100
Oh,
award
you
for the
did?
spin fryer. Yeah, it's considered the Oscars of invention. It was an amazing accomplishment. It's a deep fryer that spins, and the centrifuge removes the excess oil from the surface of fried food before it cools and condenses as fat.
And whatever happened to that? You just
it
licensed
went
it,
out,
and then it went away?
Yeah, it made a little money. It came out as a George Foreman spin fryer. It was a
Oh,
little
okay.
expensive, a little
Yeah.
oversized, so it kind of, you know,
Oh,
never
so you
really
licensed it to the guy that had salt.
Exactly. And so Leon Dryman saw the spot, and he called me back, and he said, I want this. I want to test it. I think people will buy this thing. I'm like, Leon, it's a joke. It's a spoof. He's like, but no, I want to test it.
Yeah.
And he did. But again,
Yeah.
we had no internet. We were way ahead of our time with the concept of using comedy or humor,
Right.
you know, to sell
Right.
a product.
Right.
So he tested it, and it didn't pull. And that was kind of the end of it. And then you got a hold of it, and it ended up on the big screen at one of the ERA.
I don't know. It was Sully Sully put it up there. I
Is
don't
that
know how
right?
he
Oh,
did
I thought
that.
you did that.
I don't know where I got it, but it was one of the videos that. Well, I was producing the writing the show. So our awards are like our Academy Awards of infomercial things, where everybody feeds each other's ego, and Guthrie Ranker wins all the awards. But that's this whole presentation. So I think I was producing it, but I was going up with Sully, because Sully and I were really good friends at that time, and Sully and I were presenting, and we were presenting like 5 awards. It was like I totally manipulated the crap out of it. It's like I was going to be up there. I was producing it, and so that's when we actually did that.
I just remember I was there at the ceremony, and my show came up
Yeah.
on the big screen, and I was like, oh God. And I just
Because-
kind of, but the good news is no one knew it was me.
No, nobody. I didn't know
No
until
one-
a few weeks ago
Yeah,
that was you.
yeah.
And I always knew about Wheel with Handles, because I thought it was so hysterical. Wheel with
Right.
Handles. And I think when Sully used to come and do a lot of the invention things with me, you know, in Pittsburgh and stuff, because I started all the product showcase for
That's
ERA
right,
and
yeah.
all that with the inventors. He would show that video.
Really?
Yeah, he would show it, because
Interesting, yeah.
he was proud of it, and he would get them to laugh
Yeah.
and people to laugh.
Well,
and
it's
stuff,
funny,
yeah.
you know. It really does. It pokes fun at the industry a little bit, and
A lot, actually.
a lot. But,
That's why we laugh so hard.
but it's
'cause-
very real, also. It's like, and there's some people out there, I'm sure, like me, that's like enough already. Get to the point.
Well, you know, people might be wondering that are listening. It's like, well, I wonder why if you put that on television, why wouldn't someone buy it? You know, and you have to look at it. It's like it's $10. It's the wheel with handles. Everybody knows the wheel with handles. And if it's only $10, and if it's really no bullshit, it's just $10. You know, call and whatever. But why wouldn't any? Why do you think that failed? Why do you think it didn't work? A comedy is just like Vince when he did ShamWow, he was. Was it ShamWow the first one, or was the Chopper one?
Slap Chop. I think ShamWow.
ShamWow was the
Yeah,
first one
I
where
think
he
so.
really kind of went outside the boundaries of what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
You know.
I think, number one, I think we were slightly ahead of our time, you know, because it had never been done before, though I had pushed the envelope back in my HSN days, you know, trying to use comedy to sell, which was, you know, obviously,
Me too.
again, way ahead of the curve.
You get in trouble.
But also, maybe, you know, the customer didn't know whether to take it seriously or not.
Exactly.
You know, maybe they thought it was a joke. Even though we say in there, you may think this is funny, but this is no joke. Get your credit card. I think maybe
They didn't trust you to get their credit card.
Yeah.
You know, you remember Wendy Rogers? You know Wendy Rogers,
sure
right?
do, yeah.
So Wendy married Adam and Adam J. And Adam did that commercial that it went like viral, but ass wipe or ass spray. The ass spray one,
yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Adam J here for ass spray, and they had the guy bending over and the stink coming out of the.
Right?
It was a men's deodorizer for their butt.
Yeah, well, I had seen a product like that. I had a guy come and pitch me. I'll never forget this. This was back in like 1994. We were at HSN Direct, and a guy he was dead serious. I mean, one thing as an inventor, I always promised myself I would take inventors seriously, because they're very passionate about their products, right? Well, this guy came in and he was very passionate about his product. It was the Flatulence Odor Guard, and basically they were men's underwear. It was a charcoal liner, which is on the market.
That's not so bad. I mean, it's not
Wendy,
that bad of
you know
an idea.
how hard it was for me to keep a straight face while this guy's pitching me on this charcoal liner that would take the odor out of farts, and he
not a bad idea though. I mean,
well, I mean, I don't know. My farts don't stink.
Well,
so. Kidding.
Go ahead. So, what did you say to the guy? What did you say to the guy? Did you tell him that some inventions just aren't made?
Yeah, it was one of those delicate sort of processes where I had to let him down gently. I just didn't feel at the time there was universal appeal. Maybe again he was a bit ahead of.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I mean, people forget. People don't know. It's like everybody watches Shark Tank and they see the pitching of the products on Shark Tank, and it's all this glorified stuff, but. For years I did these things, and for years up until last year when the Housewares Show, I started the one at the Housewares Show, also the Inventors Corner. It's at the Housewares Show, and the International Housewares Show took it back 2 years ago after the direct response people. When I got sick, everything went to hell. Right, I got sick, I wasn't around, and they took this whole invention program thing that I created out of education and opportunity and integrity for the inventors. Really was a boost for the ERA. There's a big history there about that. And then when I got sick, all the frickin' dirtbags came in. All of them. They just came in, and they took over, and they made it a pay for play kind of like model and things like that. 2 years ago, the International Housewares Show took it in under their wing, so it wasn't like outsourced, just on the floor. And the first person they asked back was me. So of course I go back and I'm do whatever, and we have all the invention panels. We do all of that, and I'm like the moderator and the person really helping pushing the inventors, teaching them the 2-minute pitch and all of that. What happens? I go back the second year, the next year, which was last year, I go back on my own dime. Okay, Kevin Harrington gets paid to go. All right, but I go for 4 days for the Housewares Show, and I don't get paid anything, right? And I say the word shit at the at the podium. They wanted me to be funny. They want me to be engaging. They love what I do with with that area on the trade show floor. Get people excited. And I tripped, and I said, "Oh shit!" And the guy from the head of the Housewares Show happened to be standing right there when I tripped and said, "Oh shit," in the microphone, basically, because I had it on, and I'm never going back.
Wow. Well, that is really a terribly offensive word.
Isn't that just really ridiculous? But anyway, so my point really is that you see, inventors are extremely vulnerable, and no matter who you are, people, even entrepreneurs are very vulnerable. There's a difference between an entrepreneur and an inventor.
For sure.
You're lucky if you're both. You know,
or cursed in some ways, but
yes,
yeah, clearly there are differences. An entrepreneur is a creative, but
an entrepreneur is somebody that knows how to run the business. So a lot
has
of
to figure it out. Has to learn.
Or knows how to figure it out.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
And because we both. You started Boku Foods, Superfoods, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, but you've had so many different businesses. I just spent the past 2 freaking years doing Easy Go Pro, which we all know and love.
Yeah,
oh, Easy Go Pro! And which I could do a whole show on how I ride the wave of Squatty Potty's deep pockets and their Shark Tank appearance.
Nice.
Good job. Yeah. We actually, Squatty Potty and I were texting each other at Christmas time. So Bobby Edwards was saying, because I was their consultant and I helped launch them.
I remember. That's right. Yeah.
And so at one point, I remember I'm making chocolate pies, right? And I get this text from Bobby Edwards, the guy that's the head of Squatty Potty, and he goes, "You must be killing it on Amazon because we are out of Prime." Like that. And I went, "Oh my God, no wonder I'm killing it on Amazon because you're out of Prime." Nice. Right? So we kind of feed each other. Right?
Perfect.
But they spend the money. They spend the money, and I reap the benefits.
Yeah. Some would say that's brilliant. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
But that's the sign of the times today because of Amazon and because of what you were saying earlier before we started the show. So much easier to start a business today.
You know, compared to back when I started in business, I mean, really, I've been an entrepreneur since I was strong enough to push a snow shovel or lawnmower.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the different businesses that, you know, I've been involved in. It was difficult back then when I look back. Number one, you know, without the experience, obviously, everything's more difficult. But we didn't have the internet. We didn't have even cell phones, text messages. I mean, I remember when the fax machine came online and I was like fascinated. I was like, this is awesome.
How does it work?
I can fax the Chinese in the middle of the night and actually send a document instantly. I don't have to put a stamp on it. We didn't have Google or Wikipedia to do the research. You know, I had to go to the library and, you know, search through periodicals and do all this
Stop
painful,
reminding me of
right?
all this stuff.
Remember the Thomas Register? If you wanted even like a small widget, you had to go buy the Thomas Register and search through it and get on the phone. I mean, talk about smile and dial. We were on the phone constantly. Now, you just Google it.
I know.
mean, listen, you could sit at home and watch episodes of The Shark Tank, The Prophet, and The Apprentice and learn business. I mean, honestly, you can learn so much. I learn watching these shows. I've been making my kids watch these shows because you can learn so much. And when I started, you know, as an entrepreneur in these various different startups, we didn't have these tools. So everything took longer. It was a much lengthier, much more arduous process. I mean, I honestly believe it's never going to be easy. It's going to take brains. It's going to take courage. It's going to take passion. It's going to take imagination.
It takes the right idea.
The right idea. It's going to take all of these things. But I think now is the time. I mean, if there ever was a time, now's the time to pursue your dream and start a business.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, I think that's to my point. It's like it's pretty remarkable. We have the #2 toilet stool in America, you know, and we have never invested a dime more than what our initial startup money was. I mean, it's a total bootstrap. You know, it's not like I'm making a bunch of money, but it's a company that's growing, and I'll be able in 2 years to sell because the category is growing. Thanks to my friends at Squatty Potty, who I adore and love, because they have deep pockets. They have super deep pockets, right? And they forged the path, spent the money, and I know how to make sure that I am sitting right next to them on the Amazon shelf, and I'm not spending a dime to be there,
Good
right?
for you.
So when somebody types in that Squatty Potty, to your point, they type in Squatty Potty into search or into Amazon. I just know how to manipulate it so that I'm going to pop up right next to them.
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
Tremendous. The tools and resources we have now that we didn't have before. You know, and again, it's not going to be easy. That's not a guarantee of success or a guarantee that it's going to be simple. No. But again, I'm so excited. I'm so jazzed. I mean, you know, it's like the old saying, the more I know, the more I realize how little I know.
Yeah.
But it's just right now is a great time. There's so many incredible tools out there. You can start a business now in your pajamas. You can run the business in your pajamas.
I do.
Right.
I do. Yeah. Actually, I do. The only time I have a joke, the only time I get dressed up is when I come out on Tuesday night to do my radio show, which is absolutely the truth.
And you look great. Thank you. Though I'm not sure pajamas might have worked too, right? Right, Steve?
not my pajamas, Tony.
Oh, sorry, Tony.
So we're gonna you know, we have a sponsor. And it's right up the alley of what we've been talking about, which is direct response.
Tell me about your sponsor. That's exciting.
It's Direct Avenue. And you've used short form media buyers and planners in the past, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
there's some great ones out there.
There are. Direct Avenue they're in Carlsbad, and I only use Direct Avenue. You know, I like it when it's a boutique team that really takes things seriously. So for those that are listening and don't know what really media planning is, so Direct Avenue, their tagline is expect more, and that's why I use them, because they really do give you more. They do all your media planning, they do all of the buying, they look at your spot or your brand or your campaign, and they cost effectively go out there and negotiate great rates. It's kind of like, I always say that short form media planning and buying and direct response and brand response really is more about, it's almost like day trading. You know, they have to have these relationships with the stations, and they actually have to know when to sell and when to buy. You know, when you think about it.
For sure.
And it's because it's unlike general advertising, right? General advertising, you have, you know, 50,000, 5 million, whatever it is, ad budget. You go for a run, and it's a 6-week, you know, run, and that's that, and you spend it. You just spend it. But where Direct Avenue comes in is they plan your media for you. They do an initial campaign for free, evaluation of your campaign, and then they spend little, and then they make it grow from there. And their analytics and their everything about what they do, their platforms and the people. It's the people. It's Scott and Steph. So, directavenue.com. They're awesome. If you ever need or want to run a television commercial on television, they're there to help you out.
Well, I know you as an icon in the industry. And
Really?
if you say Direct Avenue is a great company, I know I can take that to the bank. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you,
For
Reno,
sure,
because
yeah.
it's actually true. And you can just call Scott Kowalczyk. That's right. He's the owner. Scott
Scott.
Kowalczyk.
All right,
Just call
Scott.
Scotty.
right.
But Scott at directavenue.com. So what were we talking about?
I don't know.
We were talking about
Easy Go Pro.
Yeah, Easy Go Pro. We'll be right back. We're going to go to Easy Go Pro. Okay. Thank you. We'll be right back.
In an average lifetime, 1,500,000 minutes are spent on the toilet. So what's the problem?
When you sit on a toilet, you're at a 90-degree angle.
Nature didn't want us to do it that way.
This causes pushing, straining, hemorrhoids.
That's crazy.
We want to create a product that is great for humanity.
Well, go time just got easier. Introducing Easy Go Pro, the only way to go.
Anatomically, we were designed to eliminate at a 35-degree angle.
You just sit, lift, and go in a natural position.
The benefits list is this long from a pure health perspective.
A healthy colon is encouraged by doctors for all ages.
The key to vitality, it's the key to longevity, it's the key to your health.
Be a healthy goer. Order now at EasyGoPro.com. Try it for 70 days. If you don't absolutely feel better, just send it back for a full product refund. Go time just got healthier at EasyGoPro.com.
Hey, we're back, and we are back with Reno Rolle. How do you say it? Rolle?
No, you said it perfectly.
Rolle.
Reno
Rolle.
That's my French grandfather would be so proud.
Rolle.
Rolle, yeah.
You know, I know how to speak a little bit of French.
Do you really? That doesn't surprise
and
me.
I know most of the time. Do not speak Italian around me because I'll know everything that you're saying. I just refuse to speak it.
Okay, so that's a wonderful skill.
Yeah, I do refuse. Actually, there's supposed to be a really funny Italian movie out. I heard on NPR, and the name of it is like a slang thing in Italian, which basically kind of means it's like where am I going, right? But if you have a chance to see it, I can't wait to see it because it's supposed to be hysterical about in the Italian culture how they get a job working as a civil servant, and then that's it. You are a civil servant for the rest of your life because you can do whatever the frick you want. You're never going to get fired because you're just going to always have this job because it's, they don't fire you, right? So it's like the life of being a civil servant, and it's supposed to be extremely funny. Italian movies are very funny.
I love funny movies, and I agree. Italian movies
are very funny.
Very funny.
If we remember that one, remember Life is Beautiful?
Remember the original Swept Away?
Yes,
that an Italian?
Yes, it was Giancarlo Giannini.
I thought that was great. What's this sodomized motorized bullshit?
Yes, it's Giancarlo Giannini. Okay, so let's rein it back in, and we only have about 15 more minutes. What's happening now? What's really important to you now? I saw that picture. How did that happen? You were singing with Seal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was it just a weird thing?
No, it was a great birthday party. A dear friend of mine, in fact, he was a partner at the time, and he had a girlfriend, Giselle Fernandez, here in town, and Seal happened to be a neighbor, and they were friends, and they had a band playing, and she knew I liked to sing, and so she's like, I want you and Seal to sing a song. I'm like, really? And I said, okay. So I thought we were going to sing a Seal tune, and she's like, no, I want you to sing Stand By Me. I'm like, well, I mean, I love the song, but I don't really know the song. And Seal's saying the same thing. I don't really know the song. And so she goes to the wall, and she had the lyrics signed by Benny King. Honest to God. And so we're sitting. It was an amazing story. We're sitting on this bench, and, Seal and I. And at the time, honestly, he was like my favorite. Like at this time, he was absolutely my #1 favorite artist.
So
and we're sitting side by side, and we're like singing the song together, rehearsing. And it was really loud because we're in the middle of the party. So I'm like, look, I can't really hear. I go, let's go downstairs where it's a little quiet. So we start walking down the steps into this like living room area. And about halfway down the steps, it hit me. I'm walking down the steps with
Seal.
Seal, and I'm going to rehearse.
I hope I don't fart.
I was like, man, really, is this like happening? So we start rehearsing. Anyway, we end up on stage and we sang the song and we stuck it, and it was an incredible experience. And what's even cooler is he had never sung the song. I mean, he sung the song, but he had never performed the song. And
do you have that on video?
No, someone probably does, but
that's too
I never
bad.
did. I got a couple pictures, but what was so cool is recently, maybe 3-5 years ago, he came out with an album where he covered all these like classic R&B tunes, and he covered "Stand By Me," and I couldn't help but think the first time he performed it was with me. How cool was that?
Oh, that's so sweet.
So,
See how life throws things at you.
I've been so blessed. Honestly, it's crazy. You're right. The experiences that unfold if you just make yourself available.
Right,
you just never
exactly.
know. It's pretty cool.
Tell me about Reno's Treehouse.
Oh, so yeah, my YouTube channel we're starting up. It's like that. It's about stories, and stories that I think might have the potential to make a positive difference. So in my house in Ojai, I have this kind of cool, it's this bitchin' tree house. It's like this Balinese hut. And so we decided to go up in the tree house and just tell stories. And I have this brilliant editor, Andros Sturgeon. He's a really cool guy. His father actually wrote the line "Live long and prosper." He was a writer for Star Trek. Yeah, so he's this like brilliant creative, and so he's shooting and editing these pieces for me, and we just have a blast with it, telling these old stories. I have a great Donald Trump story. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my website.
Is it kind of like
RenoRollé.com.
my smuggling pot into the ATF building story that I just told a couple weeks ago on the radio?
It's I don't know if
Those
it's that compelling because that sounds really interesting, but it is a great Donald Trump story. I have a great Rodney Dangerfield story. I have a great Gloria Estefan story. I have like all these amazing stories, not just because I got to meet these really cool people like Seal, but because they impacted me in such a way that it was really a transformative experience. Like you had mentioned earlier, I mean, sometimes these people come into your life or these situations that you experience really send you in a different direction, and you just, it's unbelievable. So, and help to shape you. And so these are the stories we share in Reno's Treehouse. So we started up this YouTube channel. It's kind of cool, and I get to share.
I like it. I like it.
Very cool.
I like it. So Andros, he helps edit that for you?
He shoots it. He edits it. Yeah, he's a really brilliant guy.
Oh, that's nice to have somebody like that.
Yeah, he's a good buddy.
I haven't produced anything for about a year and a half because I've been doing some duty here with my toilet stool. And
helping people do their duty.
And I've been in edit because I've just been I kind of volunteered my creative services for I'm BRCA1 mutated inherited cancer, breast and ovarian cancer gene, and so there's this new foundation to find the prevention for inherited cancer because there's so much research. But anyway, that goes on with the BRCA gene. But anyway, so they had all this footage that this agency back east. I went to this dinner, and I see the video. I'm sitting with the lady whose husband owns 72 and Sunny, which is a big advertising agency, and it's a great group of people. I'm sitting here and then I watch this video, this opening video that they have, and I was like, "What is that?" Right? There's some potential there, right? So I volunteer my services, and I had created actually something that's really beautiful. It's a donor video, so it's a video to raise money, right? But it was 9 hours of interviews with people like researchers from all over the world that are cancer researchers, from Dana-Farber, from Johns Hopkins, from Cambridge, whatever, in the UK. The guy that started Maynard, the guy that started the Human Frickin' Genome Project.
Wow.
These are the people that were together at this place called Banbury, where they actually started the Genome Project and other, think tanks, right? But anyway, it's been really remarkable to be back in the creative saddle.
Yeah, and that's how
right?
I knew you as a producer, creative person. Yeah, cutting all these spots and shooting all these spots.
Yes,
so,
I did a lot of them.
It's nice to get back, and that's a great cause, by the way.
Yeah,
that's different when you're doing something where you're so passionate and you stand the chance to really make a positive difference. It changes the whole quality of the mission, right?
Well, it was interesting because I kind of underestimated my own talents. I didn't know what they shot. They had hired an agency that shot the footage and shot the interviews and shot all of this stuff, and then they interviewed the people of the foundation. And I don't know. I had transcripts and I had 9 hours of footage. And you ever watch researchers talk? I mean, okay, but as a producer, you got to watch the stuff because I didn't direct it. I don't know what the footage says.
Wow.
And I don't know if the transcript basically, oh, there's a great line, but is the guy looking over here when he's saying it, right? Okay, so so I built this story, this beautiful story over 3.5 minutes, and I had to find their message. They didn't even know what their own message was. So that's so key in anything that we do in marketing is, you have to find your brand story, no matter who you are. And they were working with an agency, okay? And they were all over the place and didn't even have their true story of where, what they wanted and who they were and, why somebody would write a check to them,
Isn't that amazing? I consider, you make such a great point. And I look back on all the different businesses and all the endeavors. And it was with Boku when Lynn and I sat down, this is 9 years ago, and decided we're going to make the world's greatest superfood. We're going to start a company. We're going to pursue our dream. We sat down and according to, I attended a seminar. Actually, it wasn't a seminar. We were starting a business. And we had Harvey Hendler, who's this renowned sort of strategist, come in. And he taught us how to sit down and map out your ID, list out your core values, create your mission statement. There's a very sort of specific procedure. And fortunately, I had that experience coming into Boku. And when we sat down and we started with our mission statement, and I can't even tell you, because you're right, so many people, they haven't discovered their voice. They haven't discovered their passion. Okay. They haven't gone through that process where they identify what it is they really want to do and why they want to do it. And when we started Boku, it was so amazing because as we worked through this process, we created a mission statement that was to positively impact as many people as possible with the healing power of whole food organic nutrition. That's our mission. And it was, again, based on our experience with our son. And why we were passionate about sharing these superfoods is because of the changes they made in our lives. Right. And I honestly believe to this day, because, again, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I started selling Christmas trees, cutting grass, doing the whole thing, babysitting, everything, you name it. And when we started every other company, it was always about the money because I came from nothing and I wanted everything. So to me, the measure of success was what did it cost and how much could I sell it for? What did I end up with? How much money did I make? And when and it was fine, I mean, because there's no shame in making money. But when we started Boku and we led with that mission to make a difference for other people, I swear to this day, that forms the absolute foundation of our success. Right. The fact that we put helping other people
before yourselves
out in front. And the rest of it happens
I agree.
automatically. So that's a pretty cool thing. That
well, I got a lot of people taking good duties.
See? And karma, Wendy, right? I mean, we can laugh about it, but the fact is, everybody that buys that product, you're making a positive difference in their life, and that comes back. It's a beautiful thing. It's a really cool thing when you can do well by doing good, and that's kind of what I learned through Boku, what you're experiencing with Easy Go Pro. And I just wish in this day and age, where there are some amazing people and new entrepreneurs and new businesses, I feel like what's undermining humanity right now more than anything is the lack of that consciousness, the lack of the awareness, the lack of the morals and ethics that we need to really drive true success, more than just money, but success measured by what you're doing to help other people, what you're doing to help the planet. I mean, so many of these companies, even our political leaders, suffer this desperate lack of consciousness.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing things like what you're doing, and when we're blessed enough to be doing the things we're doing at Boku, that to me is making an enormous difference.
Well, I think you're doing an amazing job. You guys have traveled. I ran into you at the airport. Remember, I ran into you and Lynn at the airport.
That's right. Yeah.
And you were just coming off of like this incredible trip or something.
Yeah,
you had gone everywhere.
We go all over the world. We're so blessed. We get to meet and shake the hands of the farmers that grow our organic, ingredients. I mean, we just learned recently there's this beautiful native tribe of people that were almost forced to extinction. The Ashaninka people in Peru. And, honestly, they were terrorized to the brink of extinction. These are this beautiful Arawak indigenous people. And the government stepped in and gave them the opportunity to farm superfoods, sacha inchi, and cacao. And so we're buying these foods, and thanks to our customers and thanks to the business that we've been able to build, we're actually helping these people. We're providing education, we're providing housing, we're providing medicine and food, and you can't. How do you put a price on that? I mean, really, when I learned, I get goosebumps thinking about it now because I've seen these people. So we travel high in the Andes and into the rainforest in Peru, and we meet these people, And it's a beautiful experience because the world is so much bigger than Los Angeles. Than wherever we may live, wherever we're watching or listening to the show. The world is so much bigger. There's so much more going on out there. And if we just embrace that fundamental, that doing one small thing for someone else.
It's like the wings of the butterfly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They really do flutter across the universe. Well, they do, Tony. It's true. I've totally...
Tony, get with the butterflies, man.
Reno, no, but they say, it's the wind of the butterflies is felt around the world. Of the bird, of anything.
Yeah.
It's the ripple effect of,
That's right.
of the air.
Of the pebble falling into the pond,
So I think that, when people... I think we come to a certain place in our lives and in our careers and in our age and our children and everything else where we become more conscious, though, don't you think? And we have about 3 more minutes, but we just become, hopefully we become more whole people and doing things for different reasons than we were doing them in the past. You must agree.
Yeah, honestly, I hope that for everyone, because it's happened to me. And it was like, I don't even know what to compare it to, like another puberty. Yeah. Like it's that, impactful. And when it happens, it's like a switch going off. And you become, like I learned charity selling Christmas trees. When the poor little kids would come to my Christmas tree lot and the mom with that look on her face, and I could cry thinking about it now because the little kids always want to go to the biggest tree and the mother can't afford it. And my guys knew we never had to say a word. Whatever the kid wants, get the kid the tree, put it on the roof and send them home. And that was an amazing lesson for me, because it felt good. It feels good to do good. And I agree. There is a shift. I mean, these millennials now, thank God. I mean, I talk about them all the time because my kids are millennials.
Yeah, mine too.
And,
mine too.
And, right. And we kind of suffer, the fact that, they're
the ones in Thailand
they're
right
entitled, now. They're all of the rest of it. But the good news is, they're not interested in spending their money with these giant corporations that lack the consciousness and awareness. So I really do believe there is hope. And I wish that for everyone, that they get to that point, because when it happens, it's like a switch going off.
Yeah, I think it's happening younger and younger because my son, I have a son that's 34 and a son that's 24. And my 24-year-old he's an artist and actually quite successful,
Nice.
Actually painting,
Beautiful.
really with the brush, and he's now traveling with his girlfriend in Thailand. And he actually, it was really cute because he never texts me, he never sends pictures of it. I know I'm dying. The kid's in Thailand. He never went on a trip. He still has his room down the hall, right? And he's in freaking Thailand. But he sent me a text after being in Chiang Mai, which they loved. He sent me a text to tell Marino, who is not his dad, that he loved him, that he missed him, and he loved him. And that first time in 20 years. I mean, I've been with Marino for 20 years. It was the first time that Chance ever did that.
Do you think something happened there?
Yeah,
that
there's a shift must have happened in the, just realizing that, life
Very cool.
is much bigger. The world is much bigger than, outside his door in El Segundo, which is really great. Because when he was leaving, I was like terrified, really terrified.
I'll bet.
And
this is the 24-year-old. He's a baby,
Yeah, and for him, he still lives at home. He still lives at home because most 24-year-olds just still live at home.
Yep.
Huh?
Reno Jr.'s 25. He's still at home.
And
we love it.
And we love it, too,
He's working for the company. He's an amazing guy. But
we don't know what to do with ourselves. So Chance is gone. It's like, oh, Jesus, we're like, we are empty nesters.
Right.
That's not cool. Not cool at all. Going, I actually dated. I sit in his room every once, and he's coming back in 2 weeks. But I'll go sit in his room.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Because I just, I just want my little guy back. Yeah, it's sweet. But anyway, Reno, it was great that you're here.
Oh, so nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to check Reno out, it's at RenoRolle.com. BokuFoods.com, right?
Boku Superfood. BOKU Superfood.com.
And
look out for us on Evine, by the way. We
I
launched our
wanted
partnership
to talk about that.
with Evine Live. Such an incredible honor. Thanks to Tom Beers and
So Evine Line is the shopping network.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, a lot of people
number
don't
3,
know what
right
it is.
behind QVC and HSN. You can find it on pretty much there are 90 million U.S. homes.
And
thanks
you go
so much
on air, right?
I do. We've been on the air every month since we launched a year ago next month, and it's been fantastic. We've grown explosively, thanks to Mark Bozick and the rest of the team at Evine Live. I'm incredibly honored and grateful. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Do you remember Mark from back in the day?
I sure do. Yeah, a little bit. I didn't have the opportunity to work with him too extensively, but he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's got the tiger by the tail with this Evine Live.
Yeah, Evine's looking good. Although I did contact him because I wanted to put. I want to be the first one to go on a shopping network and be able to talk about the benefits of elevating your feet. And I can do it without ever mentioning the word poo. I can do it. And they're very afraid of that, right? They don't want to put you on live shopping because they think it's disgusting.
Well, has anything happened on like QVC or anything? They haven't taken the
Squatty Potty?
Squatty Potty?
No, Squatty Potty actually didn't. I don't think they've ever gone on air.
Wow.
But they went on QVC.com. But QVC, Bernadette, sorry. We're in dish here a little bit. Bernadette from QVC and Karen Hyman, they're the ones that referred Squatty Potty to me in 2012.
Wow.
So, because Bernadette wouldn't touch it at QVC, but they said, you know what, you need to talk to Wendi Cooper and see if she can help you with your marketing and your positioning, right? So that's when I did the commercial for them for Squatty Potty, and they came to me and I was there to set them all up, and we put the commercial on the air, and it did like a 5-to-1.
Wow.
It did a 5-to-1. Mine
huge.
with the jumping people that I did with Squatty Potty.
We don't see 5-to-1s these days.
You don't see
anymore.
5-to-1. So it was like a super hit. And then they decided to pull the commercial. That's why I did Easy Go Pro. Yeah, they saw that it was
crazy.
a lot of money that I would be making if I had a royalty. That's why.
Wow.
So anyway, we got to wrap it up. Tony is looking at me like, come on, bitch. Wrap that show up.
We could talk all night.
We could. So, Reno, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank Direct Avenue, Scott Kowalczyk, for sponsoring us. That's directavenue.com. Expect more, but I would use them for media planning if I was you. And Tony, I will see you next week with Brione. Huh? Yeah, I can't wait for that's going to be great. I'm just surrounded. I have so many great guests. I got my marketing show back, and I'm like booked through March.
This
is
awesome.
Fun.
This is fun. I hope you'll have me back sometime.
Yeah, of course I will.
Great. Yeah.
Of course.
Thanks, Tony. You're welcome. Or Steve, or whatever they call you.
Mr. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network.
You make me feel like I've been locked out of hell.
A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBN Radio.